Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to be using Drupal Commerce, and we're going to be installing it from scratch, installing in a fresh Drupal site, and we're going to be using something called Commerce Kickstart 2. And so Commerce Kickstart 2 is basically, Drupal Commerce has a lot of pieces involved, and the best way to start a Drupal Commerce project, if you're starting a commerce project from the beginning, is to use this Kickstart because it gives you a lot of the key components and configuration to get you going. And really, it would be really a huge pain to develop a Drupal commerce site without this. So if you want to go to drupalcommerce.org/commerce-kickstart-2/install, you can go through these directions here, and we're going to follow along and download and install Drupal Commerce with the Kickstart. So to get started, we're going to go to the Commerce Kickstart page on Drupal. So that address is drupal.org/project/commerce_kickstart. And you can scroll down here, you can see that we're running version 2, and we can click notes here under links. And if we want to grab this core one, this is going to give us not only the Commerce Kickstart, but it's going to give us Drupal core. So we want to download this whole thing. So I'm going to let this download, and then we're going to extract it and throw it into our sites folder, and we'll get going. Okay, so I have our Commerce Kickstart folder that I downloaded, and I renamed the folder to Drup or Droop or however you want to say it. And I have my MAMP Pro looking for that folder Drup or Droop, and I'm setting this host to be here. And so we're going to start up these servers, and then I'm going to set up our database. So by clicking this web start, I can open up this phpMyAdmin here, and let's create a database. I'm going to create a new database, and we'll call it D7 com for commerce, and I'm going to click create, and here we have our database. It's all good, and I browse to our location that our server is running, so we have drop.levelup, and so here is my local host, and it's already taking us to this Drupal install page. And the one thing you might notice immediately is how much nicer this looks than Drupal's normal install page. And that's one of the benefits to using something like Commerce Kickstart, is they're taking the time to put in the details to make this thing nice and just a better experience on you. So if, I sort of wish that Drupal core would take this time to do things like this and put thought into the details, because this looks nice, and it doesn't really affect how it works, but it's a good thing for it to look nice. So let's click let's get started, and just like the normal Drupal install, it's going to give you some requirements, and it's going to get mad because I don't have a site's default files, and it doesn't have the right permissions or anything, and my PHP memory limit is set to 32, and this says it needs at least 128. So we'll have to change that in the htaccess as well, and we also need the settings file. So this is all normal Drupal installation stuff, and let's get handling this right away. So I'm going to go to this folder. I'm going to sites, default files, and I'm going to take this default settings, and I'm going to copy this file, and I'm going to remove the parts of it that say default and settings. Here we go. And what else do we need? We need our memory limit. So I'm going to open up the htaccess file in Sublime Text. So I'm just going to add this line right here. However, it does want 100. Let me minimize this. It does want 128, I believe. So let me make sure that's right. 128. We can save this. And let's come back here. So this should be close. If I give this a refresh, it's going to probably whine about the permissions. So it needs this files directory to be writable, and it needs the settings file to be writable. And this are just temporary things. We're going to change these back after we install Drupal. And I'm just going to do it real quick here through Transmit instead of opening up Terminal and doing it that way. If you can do it with chmod, then by all means, go ahead and do it that way. But not everybody knows the terminal command, so we'll come here and go to Sites, and under Default Files is going to be 777. Apply it, and it also wants the settings file to be temporarily writable. So we're gonna give this a 777 just temporarily, but after we install, we're going to of course change that. Cool, so I've refreshed. It's now saying I've completed all the requirements. I want to use a MySQL database. I've already set it up, and that name was d7_com, and the database username with MAMP is root and root. And it looks like I might have entered my password wrong. I think typically if you're using MAMP out of the box, your password's root, but I actually remember that I did set a password on my MAMP, and that's my bad. So now we're back in, and I clicked go, and we should be good. So as you can see, it's initializing, it's installing everything, and hopefully we'll have a nice working site when we're all done here. Cool. So it says that all the necessary changes to site's default and site's default settings have been made, so we should remove the write permissions, and we should be all good. You can consult the handbook for more information. It's nice to sort of go through the handbook whenever you're installing a new Drupal site anyways, just to make sure you didn't forget anything. So our store name is going to be Level Up Tuts Store, and this is just going to be Scott at Level Up. Well, typing is not great today. All right. And site maintenance account admin. I'm going to want to go ahead and change this password just to something a little bit more familiar. And it's not even any really that secure, but just a little bit more familiar. So let's click Save and Continue, and we should have a working site here. Sure, I'll save it. And it's going to ask some stuff. Do we want to install the demo store? Hey, let's install the demo store, might as well, especially because we're seeing how it's working. And we don't need to, this is just going to be a US store, so we don't need to do any translation. And US dollars is good, and no, actually, we'll do no sample tax rate, just so we can set it up ourselves. But if you're, setting this up for your store, you might want to just have the sample tax rate. It's gonna cool. So it installed, and it took us to this Getting Started page, which is a lot more than most Drupal installations can give you. So here we are, and perfect, ready to get started. As always, if you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section. Hit us up on Twitter, any of the stuff. We're on Twitter, Facebook. You can reach me personally at stolinsky on Twitter. I always say I try to get to all the comments. I really do, but there's a ton of comments. We get just way too many to handle a day. So, I apologize if I never write back to you, but I'm really trying to get through all of them. So, as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and thanks for watching. Bye.